So here we are with chapter 232, leaks and spoilers, courtesy of Miyamura for always providing them whenever possible. And with that, let's jump into these real quick this week. So the chapter starts with Mahoraga's wheel turning the second spin. Since there's 2 more spins left for Gojo's Infinity to be adapted, everyone is now screaming for Gojo to hurry up and end the fight. If you remember last chapter, Gojo declares that he would defeat Sukuna in 3 spins, however, Mahoraga's already spun once, so obviously people are beginning to panic. So when I tell you guys are going to love this chapter, trust me, you will. Gojo then attacks by wrapping his hands with blue curse technique. He then creates the blue orbs all around Sukuna, which moves by destroying everything around him. Gojo then moves to Sukuna's blind spot and attacks him, then sends him flying with a kick. In this chapter, we get the curse technique battles that we wanted out of these two, and now we're finally getting into their movesets. And when I tell you Gojo's 6 orbs look amazing in this page, they really do. They look like they don't even belong there. With that being said, let's move further into the chapter. As the wheel spins the 3rd time, there's 1 more spin left. Yuji now asks, how does the wheel adapt to a technique? Does it adapt after taking some time or by taking the attacks twice? Kusakabe then says, Gojo has been only using the blue curse technique so far. Kashimo then says, whichever option could be possible. So as of right now, even the characters in the story can't tell what exactly is going on with Mahoraga's adaptation. And something interesting about this segment is that it's going by very fast, and I do think that this part's only to get rid of Gojo's limitless barrier, and once Mahoraga adapts to whatever it will only be able again to adapt to the barrier, and then Gojo and Sukuna can fight with no barriers, their curse techniques hitting one another, just a full all-out brawl with curse techniques, what we're used to getting in Jujutsu Kaisen, right? So as we go on, it's then said that Gojo plans to take Sukuna by surprise by giving him the impression that he will only be using blue, but he suddenly attacks at point blank with curse technique reversal red. And obviously what Gojo means by taking Sukuna by surprise is that Sukuna is currently using Mahoraga to adapt to all Gojo's curse techniques, so Sukuna is going by the thought that Gojo's only going to use 1 technique because he doesn't want Sukuna to adapt to all of his techniques. Gojo's taking advantage of this by using red, which is something that Sukuna would not be expecting at all. It's a genius and risky plan because if Sukuna was expecting this, then he just adapt to it too. The mind games and the hand-to-hand combat at the same time, I love it. This fight just never ceases to impress. I wish it could go on forever. As we move on from the activation of red, we find out that red doesn't deal much damage because Sukuna used his domain amplification just in time. But he couldn't fully neutralize the red because it was enhanced by the limitless. Sukuna taunts Gojo by saying, are you becoming sloppy and beginning to hesitate through this battle because I'm seeing through your moves? And at the very bottom of the page, we see both Gojo and Sukuna shocked. With this, we've really just been seeing Sukuna take a lot of hits throughout this fight. Now, I'm not a fan of the big frog Kuna thing because I'm well aware that Sukuna has a play in emotion, but I would love to see Sukuna just start turning up. However, I really do believe that once that limitless barrier is out the way for the billionth time, we will finally see box open, shrine, everything we've wanted to see since the beginning of the series. We also are reminded that domain amplification allows the user to take curse techniques a lot easier, and this was kind of explained very well. It's not easy to notice, but domain amplification does neutralize all curse techniques depending on how powerful the sorcerers are. Because if I remember correctly, in Shibuya, Jogo couldn't neutralize the Infinity that well with his domain amplification because he wasn't as powerful, but since Sukuna's as powerful as he is, he can take a lot of the hits from Gojo with his domain amplification up. I do remember that being sort of addressed a long time ago, although it wasn't clarified until now. After that first red didn't hit Sukuna as hard, it's then said, but Gojo gets hit from Gojo's red from behind. In the next instance, which was shot back then, it came back after circling the entire building. So now we see that red can actually be active even after hitting its opponent, and Gojo can kind of manipulate it in the same way that he can manipulate blue. That is insane, and it's kind of dope. The thing with curse techniques is the imagination is truly the limit, because this is something we could have believed that Gojo had access to, but we just never thought of it because it was never brought up to us. Anyways, in this instance, Sukuna was once again punished for talking shit way too early. And as Sukuna sent flying towards Gojo and Gojo run towards him, Gojo finally hits Sukuna with the Black Flash, hitting Sukuna so hard that he's beginning to reel and his eyes turned completely white. This is the first time we've seen this in over 100 chapters. I think it's been 100 chapters since we've seen the Black Flash. I am genuinely speechless. I think it's the 100 chapter anniversary of Yuji's last Black Flash, man. I'm just speechless. I know I say that every chapter is the best chapter in the fight, but come on, this time it's gotta be justified, right? And what I love the most about this is we see everybody's reactions crumbled into one little like panel, and then Yuji gets his own panel to react to it. A huge one, the same size of everybody else's. I don't know why, I really enjoy that detail, because when it comes to Black Flash and the understanding of it, Yuji is on his own level, to a point where you can say that he manipulates fate himself to activate these Black Flashes. After Sukuna takes his hit, Sukuna seems knocked out and Mahoraga's wheel falls down from his head, but it suddenly turns to fourth spin and traps Gojo into the shadow. Now I know people are gonna say, Gojo's over, Heian era Sukuna confirmed. I don't believe this still. I just think the fight would have went a completely different way even to this point. I'm on Team Gojo, mind you, but that's just how I perceive this. I think Sukuna's playing his cards the best he can with all he has. And this is also why I need Sukuna to stop using these techniques for Megami and start using his own, so I can be proven right in the end. Anyways, if you're following the leaks through me, place your bets as to what happens here, because I don't think you're going to be able to predict it. Yuta and Yuji both scream sensei, and as Mahoraga reappears from the shadow, he slashes Gojo. No break next week, so we will be getting the answer to this conclusion next week, thank God. I'm just gonna be straight up, I'm not worried at all. This fight has caught us with so many ball clenching cliffhangers that I can't look at this and be like, oh no, the fight's over. I can't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not ridiculing the fight. That's a testament to how good it is, because it could still make me feel a little bit tense. But we know that Gojo Sukuna just, they aren't gonna fall to normal little hits like that, even from Mahoraga. Mahoraga is not one of them. The beginning of one of these characters' downfall will be caused by the other. So I don't think Mahoraga is gonna be this big turning point that GEGE is trying to convince you he'll be in this chapter. Anyways, if you enjoyed the leaks, if you enjoyed me covering them, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you don't mind, only 2.6 of my viewers are subscribed. I'm sorry, but that's a crazy statistic, so I'm just going to be beating it over y'all heads for a while. Anyways, have an amazing day, night, if you're heading off to work at this time or you're just getting home. Peace, and I'm so tired I don't know how to end this, but I will catch you guys in the next one.